The ball falls to De Bruyne, 30 yards out. The American midfield parts. He takes 2 touches, strikes it clean and hard, and for a fraction of a second it looks destined. One man between the ball and the net steps in front of it. The frame freezes. Shot number 27. This is football untold. This is the story of Tim Howard, 15 saves against Belgium. July 1, 2014. Arena Fonte Nova in Salvador, Brazil. A World Cup round of 16 knockout match, and Belgium had brought everything. Their golden generation was assembled and hungry. Eden Hazard, Kevin De Bruyne, Romelu Lukaku, Marouane Fellaini, Thibaut Courtois in their own net, perhaps the best goalkeeper in Europe. Belgium was supposed to sweep through this tournament. They were young, coordinated, technically superior to any team in this draw. The USA had just survived something called the Group of Death. Ghana, Portugal, Germany. Most analysts had them exiting in the round of 16. Belgium was meant to be the hammer. The USA was meant to be the nail. What happened instead was a siege that would define an unexpected career peak and haunt an entire generation of talent. Tim Howard grew up in North Brunswick, New Jersey. His father was a jazz musician. His mother worked retail. At 10 years old, he was diagnosed with Tourette syndrome. The tics came involuntarily, physical jerks, vocal outbursts he couldn't control. Kids noticed. Teachers noticed. Doctors told his parents he should accept limitations. One physician suggested that competitive sports were probably not realistic. Howard was a keeper even then, a position where visibility is total, where every mistake is televised, where a tick or a twitch in the wrong moment can cost you everything. He played anyway. He played through every whisper that said he couldn't. He became a goalkeeper because he was stubborn, because the diagnosis was supposed to stop him, and because something in him needed to prove that impossible was negotiable. He signed to English football at 16. Everton gave him a path. By 2014, he was 35 years old, a veteran, a lifer in the Premier League. He'd become the most capped goalkeeper in United States history. 121 times he'd worn the jersey. And now, on a Brazilian afternoon, with the entire nation watching, he was about to have a match that would outlive his career. The first half unfolded like a horror show for the American defense. Belgium attacked relentlessly. Their passing was precise. Their movement was intelligent. They probed, they shifted, they created. The USA defended. They defended and defended and defended. By the 45th minute, Belgium had attempted 16 shots. 16, the American goal line held. Howard had made saves, difficult ones, the kind that require not just timing but geometry and nerve. At halftime, the shot count was Belgium 16, USA 2. If this was a test of supremacy, the scoreline was a lie. The truth lived in that shot count. The second half got worse. Belgium came out angrier, sharper, more certain that this was their match to win. They created more chances. They made better chances. De Bruyne had opportunities. Lukaku had opportunities. Fellaini, rising above the American midfield, had opportunities. And every time Howard was there, not sometimes, every time, he moved to his left, he moved to his right, he dove, he stood tall, he used his feet, he used his hands. He threw his body in front of shots that any other night would find the corner. One sequence in particular, a rebound off Origi in close, Howard's hand up, the ball deflected, Howard's body up again, the ball deflected again, summarized the entire evening. No, not tonight, not this man, not this match. By the 90th minute, the shot count read Belgium 27, USA 9, 27 shots. The Americans had sent 9. The shot map looked like Belgium was playing a different team entirely, playing with possession and space and control. The scoreline was 0-0. That scoreline was impossible without a man playing a version of football that transcended ordinary goalkeeping. That scoreline was Tim Howard saying no, again and again, in 90 minutes. In the 93rd minute, the dam broke. De Bruyne received the ball in space on the right. He moved infield and struck it. This time there was no save. The ball bent past Howard and into the top corner. Belgium 1, USA 0. For 90 minutes, Howard had said no. In the 190 seconds of extra time, the answer changed. Lukaku made it 2-0 in the 105th minute. The American recovery seemed mathematical impossibility. But then substitute Julian Green, 19 years old, the youngest player at the tournament, scored with his first touch in World Cup football. Suddenly it was 2-1. The USA had hope. They had minutes and momentum and desperation. Clint Dempsey shaped a free kick in the dying seconds, and the ball nearly bent into the Belgian goal. The referee blew for time. Belgium 2, USA 1, 15 saves, one match, one afternoon in Salvador. Within hours, the internet had transformed into a monument to what had just occurred. Things Tim Howard could save became a worldwide trend. Photoshops appeared, Howard saving the Titanic, Howard reaching back to save dinosaurs, Howard catching the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs, Howard standing in for Mufasa in that scene. The Secretary of Defense joked that Howard should be renamed Secretary of Defense. Wikipedia briefly changed the Secretary of Defense entry to Tim Howard's name. President Obama called him personally to thank him. The goalkeeper had transcended sport. He'd become a symbol of something larger, a man fighting against odds, against expectation, against a golden generation of extraordinary talent, and losing only when the numbers and the minutes finally caught up with him. The save record still stands, 15 saves in a World Cup knockout match. No goalkeeper has matched it since FIFA began tracking the statistic in 1966. It was the most remarkable goalkeeping display in modern tournament football. But here is what the narrative rarely accounts for. Belgium's golden generation, for all their talent, for all their technical superiority and their shot count and their possession, never won a World Cup. They reached a semi-final in 2018. They made a third-place match in the same tournament. They played beautiful football. They had Hazard and De Bruyne and Lukaku all peaking at once. They had what everyone said was necessary to win. They never lifted the trophy. The heaviest loss was not the one in Salvador. It was the one they carried for the next 4 years, watching Modric and Ronaldo's Portugal and Griezmann's France win what they could not. Tim Howard played on. He finished his career in 2019 with 121 caps for the United States. He became part of American football history not for winning, but for a single match where he said no so many times that saying yes became a mercy. He became a keeper who played with Tourette syndrome in a position where every gesture is observed and scrutinized and used against you. And he became, for 90 minutes, the only wall between two very different realities, the one Belgium wanted and the one they got. If stories like this are why you love football, stories about walls built in single matches, about underdogs standing firm until they can't anymore, subscribe, and the next Untold story finds you tomorrow. Some walls are built brick by brick. This one was built in 90 minutes by a man everyone was watching perform impossible saves and then, inevitably, watching him lose. But what he'd already built by then, the threshold he'd crossed, the standard he'd set, that would not fall, that stood, that endures. Some stories end at full time. This one never did.